True and false not given. Well, this is the most dreaded question in IELTS reading. And today I'm here to make it very, very easy for you how to understand and go about it. Hi, I'm Navneet Chandra from Just Evaluate, and I'll be just taking up this question only today. That is how to tackle true, false, not given. And I'll also discuss the major problems or difficulties or challenges that come in the way to solving these problems. And what are the tips and tricks and strategies to solve these? Okay, so hope you all can see this. Now, see, there are different types of questions in IELTS reading, but today we'll take up true, false, not given. It's the most tricky, difficult, and quite challenging. So, what is this reading section? Well, here you'll get comprehension passages and you have to answer questions based on those passages. Some questions are true, false, not given, where you have to decide whether the statement is true or false or not given. So students get confused a lot, mostly between false and not given. So I'll just clear out your doubts here. First, let's understand what do we mean by true, by false, and by not given. Now, if in the question the statement matches with the statement given in the passage, that is, they are the same, their meaning is the same. So here the importance is given on the meaning. We have to try and find the meaning in the question and the meaning in the passage. And if it's the same, it is true. But if the meaning of both is contradictory or is wrong, like for example, I say, I have 9 pence, but in the question it's written, I have 6 pence. So obviously it is wrong because here we're talking about 9, here we're talking about 6. So it will be false. Information given is false, that is, it is wrong or contradictory. Third is not given. This is the trickiest. Now, in not given, either the entire information is different, it is not given in the passage, this information, or a partial information is given. Like supposing in the question, the statement is Arun eats 1 apple in a day. But in the passage, it's given Arun eats 1 apple. In a day is not mentioned. So then we have this extra information in the question, which is missing in the passage. So then it is not given. Or we say that Arun is the only one who eats an apple a day. But in the passage, it's given Arun and other boys eat at least 1 apple a day. So we have to look out for such words as only, first, second, never, most, where, or the best. And such words are missing in the passage, then it is obviously not given. So, not given is when either the entire information is different than what is given in the passage or a part of it is missing. There's just some partial information given. The entire information is not given. So, understood till here? True means meaning is the same. False, contradictory, or wrong. Not given, either the information is different, it's not mentioned in the passage, or just a partial or a part of the information is given. Okay, so then let's go ahead. Now, what are the challenges that a student faces and how can you resolve these? At times, the vocabulary of the students is limited and there are some words which they do not understand. So what can be done for that? For that, you need to read extensively, read newspapers, read magazines, read books, improve your vocabulary. And it is the need of the hour. You need to improve it. Now, some students, what they do is they read the statement in the question and they try to match it word by word in the passage. Like they'll try to find the same word in the passage. Please don't do that. Main thing, as I've told you earlier, also match the meaning with the meaning. If you know the meaning of the statement in the question, then look at the meaning in the passage. If it's the same, then it's true. Not, then it can be false or not. Then students often make a mistake between false and not given. So better to understand the difference, otherwise you'll always go wrong. So what's the difference? In false, the information will either be contradictory or it will be wrong. For example, in the question says that he has so many pair of shoes, whereas in the passage it says that no, he has more than. Or if it says that he had gone to the market in the question, but in the passage he mentions no, he'd gone to his school. So these are contradictory. Now, what is not given? Either the entire information is not given in the passage, whatever we are talking about, that is not given in the passage. Like I say, Sita is going to the market, whereas in the passage it is mentioned Sita is cooking meal. So that is entirely different. That is not mentioned at all. And then when we talk about partial information, like I said, Sita is going to the market in the evening. But in the passage, it's mentioned Sita is going to the market. It's not mentioned whether she'll be going in the evening or morning or afternoon. So a part of the information is given, but part of the information is not given. It's missing. So whatever is missing, some sort of information is missing. That is not given. And what's the most important tip? Try to find the whole meaning in the passage, as it is all about matching the meaning. So match the meaning of the question with the meaning in the passage. Now, should you read the entire passage? No, it'll be just a waste of time. Read the questions, especially in true and false. But yes, in some questions, you need to read the entire passage. But here, you just need to read the question, understand it, go to the passage, and just skim and scan and see where you can find the same information. Highlight that, look for the exact meaning, and then find out the answer. Okay. So now what are the strategies to be used? If it's a true statement, firstly find direct evidence. What is it saying? Match the information, the question and the passage, and also check for synonyms and see how it has been paraphrased. It might have been used in some other word. Like in the question, it might be framed in a certain way, whereas in the passage, the meaning will be the same, but the sentence would be changed, would be framed in another way. So that is what paraphrasing is. So you just concentrate on matching the meaning and you will get your answer right. False statement, look for contradictory or opposing views, and negative words like never, not. Then not given. No relevant information in the passage. Like it's talking about totally something different. Statement is totally unrelated. Partial or part of the information is given. At times, words like this is the only planet, whereas in the passage it's given that there are many planets and this is one of them. But you're talking about only or first or always or never or most. This is the most auspicious day. Whereas in the passage, most is not given. It's just said that it is an auspicious day. So that doesn't mean that most. But if it's mentioned in the question and not in the passage, even if this word is missing, it changes the entire meaning. So then it will be not given. Now, what is very, very important? How should you go about it? Skim and scan strategy can be used here. Read the question, scan the passage for keywords. In the question, you will find some keywords, whether it is in numbers or names or some vital information. Go to the passage, just scan, look for the keywords, highlight those, and then match the meaning of the statement in the question and that in the passage. And you'll get your answer. Pay attention to all these points. Okay, so to make things easier for you, I have a few examples here. Now let's see the first passage. Since the Australian Institute of Family Studies began researching Australian families and society in the 1900s, Australian society has undergone many changes. This fact sheet, written in 2010 to mark AIF's 30th anniversary, looks back at major changes over that period, including trends in household makeup, family types, marital status, birth rates, and parental employment and education. And it is a fascinating snapshot of the changing nature of Australian family life over the turn of the millennium. The 1911 census revealed that the average household comprised 4.5 members. Now, this is the passage. And first of all, what you need to do is read the question. Read the first question. So what does it say? The Australian Institute of Family Studies commenced its research on Australian families in the early 19th century. So, what is it talking about? The 19th century. So, where do we need to go? We need to go here, 1900s. Do you think 1900s and 19th century is the same? No, this is false. So, what is the C? What is the reason for this? See, 1900s was the previous century. This is the 21st century. Previous one was the 20th century. And 19th century is then 1800s. So if we look at this, the statement is false. Now look at another question. It completed 3 decades. 3 decades. 1 decade means 10 years. So 3 decades means 30 years. So here he's talking about AIF's 30th anniversary. So 30th anniversary means 30 years. Completed 30 years. So here also written completed 3 decades. So the meaning is the same. So the answer is true. Okay, so now let's look at the third question. The Australian Institute of Family Studies conducted its first census of the average household in Australia in 1911. So what are we looking at? First census, and we are looking at the year 1911. Okay, so let's look at the passage. 1911 is here. But can you find the first census, the 1911 census? It is not mentioned that it is the first census. So what is the answer there? It is not given, since something is missing here. Okay, now let's go to another passage talking about the Great Depression, lasted from 1929 to 39, was a global economic downturn. Led to widespread unemployment, poverty, and political instability. It affected many countries across the world. Worldwide gross domestic product, that is GDP, fell by an estimated 15%. By comparison, worldwide GDP fell by less than 1% from 2008 to 2009 during the Great Recession. Now, the Great Depression lasted for 2 decades. This is the first question. Did it last for 2 decades? No, it is two. What is a decade? Decade means 10 years. 2 decades means 20 years. But no, it lasted for a decade, 29 to 39. So hence it is false. Second question, the Great Depression affected only the United States. Did it? The Great Depression. So it was a global economic downturn. Global means worldwide. Not only States, it affected other countries as well. Then the third question, GDP fell by approximately 15% globally. That is all over the world between 1929 and 1932. Okay, so this is given here by 15%, but are these years given? Is this time period given anywhere? 1929 and 1932? No, it is not given. So hence, the answer is not given. Okay, you've understood? Next, we go to the next section. And let's read this passage. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents. Our sense of smell is closely linked to memory, which is why smells can evoke strong emotions and memories. The human nose is the entrance to the respiratory system, warming, filtering, and moistening inhaled air. It also houses the olfactory organs, enabling the sense of smell. The nose is made up of bone, cartilage, and skin. Its shape and size can vary greatly between people. Let's see the first question. The human nose can detect 1 lakh different scents. Okay, so it's talking about 1 lakh different scents. We can see it here, different scents, 1 trillion. Now, 1 trillion means 12 zeros after 1, whereas in 1 lakh, there are just 5 zeros. So, do you think this is correct? No, this is false. Now, let's see the second question. Our sense of smell is unique to humans. Is it given anywhere in the passage that only the humans have a sense of smell? Only the humans? No, it is not given. Therefore, it is not given. The size and shape of the nose is different for different people. The third question. So it is true. It is mentioned here, shape and size can vary greatly between people. Vary means different, can be different. Okay, let's go to the next one. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most biologically diverse ecosystems on the planet. Stretches over 2,300 kilometers off the coast of Australia and is home to more than 1,500 species of fish, 600 species of coral, and many other creatures. The reef is under threat from climate change, pollution, and overfishing. Let's see the first question. The Great Barrier Reef is located off the coast of Australia. Is it given anywhere that it is located off the coast of Australia? Yes, it is given. So, it is true. Second, climate change is the only threat to the reef's survival. Is it? If we see here, the reef is under threat from climate change, pollution, and overfishing. So, there are other threats also there. Then the third question, the Great Barrier Reef is the only diverse biological ecosystem on the planet. Is the only, remember, only diverse biological ecosystem on the planet. So, what is given here is the Great Barrier Reef is one of the most, not the only, is one of the most. That means there are many other, but it is one of the most biologically diverse ecosystems on the planet. Since this is not mentioned, that is, it is the only diverse biological ecosystem. Therefore, it is not given. Now, let's go to the last and the final one. The largest living species of lizard, the Komodo dragon, also known as the Komodo monitor, can grow up to 3 meters in length and weigh up to 70 kilograms. These carnivores are found primarily in Indonesia and feed on deers, pigs, and goats. That means they are carnivores. That is, to eat meat. As a result of their size, Komodo dragons are apex predators and dominate the ecosystems in which they live. Their large size and fearsome reputation make them popular zoo exhibits. That is, if they're kept in the zoo, people would like to come and look at them because of their large size. Now, the first question, the Komodo dragon is known to grow up to 4 meters in length. This is clearly false as it can grow up to only 3 meters in length. Komodo dragons are native to Australia. Again, false because it's written they're found primarily in Indonesia. Now, let's see the third question where it says Komodo dragons live only in the zoo. Now, this information again is partly missing. They do not live only in the zoo. Now, this information is missing as it's nowhere mentioned that they live only in the zoo. But some of them are kept in the zoos where they are quite popular with the people who like to see them. But it is nowhere mentioned that they live only in the zoo. So that's why it is not given. So this is how you go about it. I hope I've made this question easier for you. And if you need more information on this or more practice exercises, or you want me to make another video by just taking examples, do let me know and then I'll do so. And in my next video, I will be taking up other questions that come in the reading section.